Hello dear students, today we are going to see a poem, A Legend of the Northland. It is a poem written by Folk Carey. Before we discuss about the poem, we'll see the new words and idioms and a few questions. The word is astute, A-S-T-U-T-E. What is the meaning of astute? Clever. And the word for you is abate, A-B-A-T-E, abate. And let me get the answer for this word in the following class. Idioms: at a stone's throw, at a stone throw. What is the meaning of this idiom? At a stone's throw, very close. And the idiom for you, black and blue. And let me get the answer for this idiom in the following class. I have 3 questions for you. First question: what are the 2 lines of poetry called? Let me repeat it. What are the 2 lines of the poetry called? Couplet. Second question: how do you call giving human qualities to animal and things? Let me repeat the question. How do you call giving human qualities to animals and things? Personification. Third question: what is the group of lines called in poetry that give poem structure? Let me repeat the question. What is a group of lines called in poetry that give poem structure? Stanza. Okay, thank you. And A Legend of the Northland, written by Folk Carey, as I already told you. She is an American poetess, the younger sister of Alice Carey. The sisters co-published poems in 1849. That's the meaning of anthology. And then each went on to publish volumes of their own. Okay, she is an American poet, younger sister of Alice Carey, and both together they published the poems in the year 1849, and then each one went on to publish volumes of their own. We have different poetic forms. Ballad is one of them. What is the meaning of ballad? Take page number 67. A ballad is a song narrating a story in short stanzas. So, ballad is a narrative poem. You have a story in every ballad. Ballads are part of our folk culture, our popular culture, are passed on orally from one generation to the next. A Legend of the Northland is a ballad. So, such stories are passed generation to generation. A Legend of the Northland is a ballad. Take page number 65, A Legend of the Northland. This poem narrates the legend of an old lady who angered Saint Peter because of her greed. So, we are going to see about a lady who angered Saint Peter. Okay, who is Saint Peter? He is apostle, disciple of Jesus Christ. Apostle or disciple of Jesus Christ. First stanza. Away, away in the Northland, where the hours of the day are few, and the nights are so long in winter that they cannot sleep them through. Away, away in the Northland. So, Northland here refers to a country in the North Pole. We all know that the North Pole is so cold, and in winter season the daylight is it will be lasted for a few hours. Away, away in the Northland. The story happened in the North Pole, a country in the North Pole, where the hours of the day are few. we have 24 hours in a day, and daylight it will be only lasted for few hours, for example 4 to 5 hours, and the nights are so long in winter that they cannot sleep them through. For example, if they have only 4 to 5 hours daylight in a day, and they have to sleep for 19 hours, 19 to 20 hours, okay, it is impossible. Maximum we can sleep for 8 hours. And in the fourth line, that they refers to the people who are living in that north pole. They cannot sleep them through, okay, they cannot sleep for 19 to 20 hours. Away, and the word away is repeated twice. What is a figure of speech? Yes, it is a repetition. Please make a note. And Northland, here in the first line, refers to the country in the North Pole, a place in the North Pole. And the fourth line, they, them, through, that, they, them, through. The sound ta is repeated. It is alliteration. I hope there won't be any doubts. Second stanza. Where they harness the swift reindeer to the sledges when it snows, and the children look like bear cubs in their funny furry clothes. Where they harness. The meaning of the harness is to tie with a rope. Reindeer means it's a type of an animal. Okay, they are going to tie reindeer with sledges. Sledges is a type of vehicle pulled by animals like a bullock cart. Okay, so when it snows and they are using sledges which is pulled by reindeers, and then the children look like bear cubs. In the winter season, all the children they are wearing furry clothes like a sweater, okay, and they are looking like bear cubs, and they are funny looking with their furry clothes. Okay, in the first line, in the second stanza, harness means to tie with rope. Reindeer means it's a type of an animal, and the sledges in the second line is a type of vehicle pulled by animals. And in third line, look like bear cubs. What type of figures of speech are used? Okay, yes, it is a simile. Children are directly compared to bear cubs with their funny furry clothes. Fourth stanza, fourth line, funny furry. The sound fa is repeated, that is alliteration. I hope there won't be any doubts in the second stanza. Third stanza, they tell them a curious story. I don't believe this is true, and yet you may learn a lesson if I tell the tale to you. Okay, so they tell them a curious story. Curious here, the contextual meaning is strange, and the strange story that I don't believe. I refers to the poetess. Poetess, she doesn't believe in this story. The story is true. Yet, the readers can get a lesson through this poem. Okay, if I tell the tale to you, tale here the story. In the first line, curious means strange, and the second line, no issues, and yet you may learn a lesson if I tell the tale to you. Tale, the sound ta is repeated in tell and tale, so that is alliteration. Okay, fourth stanza. Once, when the good Saint Peter lived in the world below and walked about and preaching, just as he did, Okay, Saint Peter, as I said in the beginning, He is an apostle or a disciple of Jesus Christ. When he lived and he walked around all the countries, and he was preaching. What is the meaning of preaching? Just as he did, okay. And this story is happened when Saint Peter lived. Okay, Saint Peter is an apostle or disciple of Jesus Christ. He came to the door of a cottage in a traveling round the earth, where a little woman was making cakes and baking them on the earth. Okay, so he came to a particular place. In that place, there was a cottage. Okay, so in that cottage, there was a little woman. What she was doing? She was making cakes. Okay, she was baking them. She was baking the cakes on the earth. Earth here, it's a fireplace. A fireplace, where you do cooking, like a kitchen. Okay, so in that stanza, third line, where woman, okay, where the sound is repeated, it is alliteration. And fourth line, earth means fireplace where we do cooking. I hope it is easy stanza. Next one, and being faint with fasting, for the day was almost done, he asked her from her store of cakes to give him a single one. So, what Saint Peter did, and going on to the cottage where he saw a little woman who was making cakes and baking them with on the earth. Okay, so he was fainted here is known. He was too weak as he was fasting. As he was starving, roaming hither and there, he became very weak, and he didn't eat for a day. Was almost done. So he asked the little woman, okay, that he needs a single cake. Okay, he asked the woman a cake. Next stanza. So she made a very little cake, but as it baking lay, she looked at it and thought it seemed too large to give away. So she didn't say no, immediately. What it is, she baked a cake, and as soon as she has prepared a cake, and it looked very large, it's very big. Okay, before giving it to him, she was thinking because it was too big, and therefore she needed another. Okay, what she did, she didn't give that cake to him, and what she has done, and she made another cake from the dough, and still a smaller one, but it looked, when turned it over, as large as the first I had done. Okay, so what she did, and she made the smaller one compared to the previous one she has made, and for her, it looked again as large as the first one she has done. So far, we completed 8 stanzas. In the first stanza, we discussed where the story has happened. It has happened in the Northland. Northland, it's a place in the North Pole. So where the nights are so long, maybe it was lasted for 19 to 20 hours. But the people who lived there, they cannot sleep for 19 to 20 hours. In the second stanza, we discussed, the sludges are pulled by the rain days, and the children, those who are there, they are funny looking. They are looking like, bear scarves, okay, with their furry clothes. And the third stanza, the poetess says that she's going to say a curious story, a strange story. that she doesn't believe it was true. Yet, she says to the readers of this poem, and the readers may learn a lesson from this poem. Next stanza, and this story about Saint Peter, who is an apostle or disciple of Jesus Christ, when he lived and he wandered here and there, and he started preaching. Okay, that is there in that stanza. The next stanza, one day he went to a place where was a cottage, where he saw a cottage. In that cottage, there is a little woman. She was making cakes from the earth. Earth is a fireplace where we do cooking. Next stanza, and as he was fainted, as he was too tired with fasting, he was starving. He didn't eat all the day. So what he did, he asked the little woman a single cake. The next stanza, that little woman, she didn't say no for giving the cake, and she started baking. She started baking a cake. When she has prepared, and she thought, and the cake that she has prepared is too large to give away. The eighth stanza. Therefore, what she did, what she has done, and she made another cake, still a smaller one. Okay, after preparing the second one, and that also looked as large as the first one she has done. So 8 stanzas we have completed. Still we have 8 more stanzas. We'll discuss in the next class. Thank you.